So now I'm going to talk about some of the resources the library has to offer on researching careers, placement tests, and some of these resources also overlap with some of the services Susan mentioned already. So I'll talk about these following resources: BrainFuse, particularly JobNow, LearningExpress, which was a presentation I did a couple months ago, and it's recorded. And then I'll talk about a couple of the databases and eBooks that we have on the topic. This is a picture of the library's homepage. Everything that I'm going to speak about today will derive from this website. So you should see the address up on top. And just remember that everything I do share about comes from this website. So this is an important website to know. Unfortunately, in that picture, I couldn't capture the entire website. So if you were to scroll down, you would see these additional links. And you should see on the right-hand side a link to LearningExpress, and underneath that, BrainFuse, specifically JobNow. Now that one from BrainFuse switches between HelpNow and JobNow. They are the same company, the same resource, but they serve two distinct purposes. HelpNow is more for tutoring and other educational opportunities and resources, whereas JobNow is more geared towards the topic that we're discussing today. If you click on that link, you should get taken to their website. And this is an image of JobNow by BrainFuse. As you can see, there are lots of things to click on and explore. I will not be able to discuss most of these. And in fact, some of these are quite similar to what Susan mentioned earlier. So I will try to cover some of the things that may be different. But just know that there are lots of resources available through BrainFuse to help you, particularly in these three areas. Okay, so the creation of a resume, preparing for an interview, and then searching for careers and career information. Of course, you will have to create an account to use most of the services within BrainFuse. So on the left-hand side, it's asking you to sign up if you don't have an account with them. And it's pretty simple. They just ask for a username, a password. You should be able to register. And then once you do, the picture on the right indicates how you would go about logging in once you do have an account. But both of these are linked within the same page of logging in. So the things I'm going to discuss briefly for you about BrainFuse's JobNow, I've highlighted with these arrows that I hope you can see. The one under resumes, I'm going to give you a picture of some of their templates. The one under job interviews, I'm going to show you, their interview tips. And then under careers, two things: Skill Surfer and eParachute. So in BrainFuse's JobNow, they have templates. These are prefabricated templates to creating these three distinct types of resumes. So when you click on them, you would be able to see examples and also be able to produce a resume using these templates. Kind of similar to Career Coach, but not as sophisticated, but nonetheless a resource for individuals to use to explore the various types of resumes that they may need when searching for jobs and careers. A lot of preparation is needed to prepare oneself for an interview. So this page provides many useful tips that users can study and prepare and read both before, during, and after the interview. So this is a great resource. Skill Surfer. These are basically placement tests. And this is just a snippet of the entire website that I couldn't fit in the image of examples of the types of tests BrainFuse provides you with. These are very valuable. Some of these are outdated, but nonetheless still relevant because the content is still useful to prepare oneself for that test. So if you know of someone or if you yourself are anticipating having to take one of these tests, remember this page. You can also practice taking these exams. So lots of useful information and a great resource here under Skill Surfer. And the last one for BrainFuse that I'll discuss is eParachute. Kind of similar to what Susan was talking about with Career Coach. You are providing in this portal your personal information so that it can create for you an assessment of what fields you may be looking at in terms of matching with your talents and interests. So on the left-hand side, these are actually two images side to side. So on the left-hand side, you see somewhat of an assessment there that I created for this example with some of the major traits listed on top, fields underneath that, and skills. And then on the right-hand side, a more detailed featured area in terms of career matchings. So another great resource to do that for people here, eParachute under BrainFuse. LearningExpress, as I mentioned, is a relevant resource to discuss for this presentation, but because I already did a presentation on this, I believe it was our second one back in June, it is recorded. So I don't want to go into LearningExpress much further. This is a picture of the live guide that we have for LearningExpress. There's a web address up there. You are free to visit it. The recording is located there, as well as a plethora of other relevant information for you. I think I do have one additional slide, though, that I do want to highlight for the purposes of this presentation. And that is, of course, again, the picture on the left-hand side is a snippet of the link to LearningExpress from our homepage, if you recall the beginning. So it is there on top, EBSCO LearningExpress. That's how you would access it from our homepage. And then on the right is a picture already inside LearningExpress, and it's highlighting the area that's relevant to this topic, and that's Job and Career Accelerator. LearningExpress has many more resources and touches on more topics than just careers. So this is the image of the section that would be dedicated for careers. Again, please visit our live guide on LearningExpress or contact us for more individualized instruction on LearningExpress. The rest of the content that I'm going to discuss are going to be library proprietary resources, so databases and eBooks. This is a picture of the library's homepage, and we have several tabs that you can click on. I have an arrow indicating on the database tab If you click on that, you'd be able to access the list of databases the library subscribes to. Of course, these require authentication, so you would then need to proceed by inputting your NMSU credentials to access these. The first database that I want to discuss is called Vocations and Careers, and it's offered by Gale. I've covered databases in other presentations, and for the purposes of this presentation, I will not go into very deeply into these, but I'm available to discuss these further with you if you desire individually afterwards. But I just wanted to give you an image of the homepage of this database. And on the next slide, just a review, a brief overview, I'm sorry, of it. So I searched here computer jobs, and I just wanted to highlight that when you do a search like this, you're going to get a results page similar to this. If you see underneath magazines, you'll see the number of results you get, and they're sorted by relevance right now. But up on top where it says showing results for, and I have it encircled there, these are the different formats that the results are being provided to you through this database. So you can look at magazine articles, academic journal articles, books, news articles, and images. So keep that in mind when researching careers through this database, that it provides a variety of options in terms of the formatting that you can search. The next arrow that I have underneath you is the title of this first result that I have, that you could then click on to further read and view what the resource has available on the topic. So again, just a brief overview on this database when you do a search. The next database is EBSCO's Vocational and Career Collection. So it looks a little different, but if you are familiar with databases, they all work pretty much the same way. They have the search box. You type in your keywords, do a search. They provide you with a page of results. You then proceed to either narrow or broaden your search depending on what your objectives are, and then identifying the ones that you're interested in to further review either right then or at a later time. So again, this example here is a search result that I did for administrative assistant jobs. One of the things I want to highlight for this particular database is, I don't know if you can see the circle that I tried creating there next to the search button. It's a create an alert. So you can, if you create an account within EBSCO, have these alerts created that could then notify you via email at whatever interval you wish whenever new information becomes available through the database on your search topic. So in this case, for example, administrative assistant jobs, you see the number of results here that I have. There's only 19. So if you wanted to, you can create an alert whenever a new article becomes available in this database. And then the arrow underneath it, again, just illustrating a relevant title in this search that you could then continue on clicking and accessing its content. And the last resource I'll discuss are the eBooks. Again, if you remember, the homepage of the library had various tabs that you can click on. So the one in the middle, the one with the big arrow pointing down, are the eBooks available through the library. And the one more specific and relevant to this topic is the one with the blue arrow pointing to the left, Careers in Focus eBooks. And this is the image of its homepage, very similar to the other Gale product, the other Gale database. But nonetheless, you have the search box there that you could use to search using your keywords and title searches, for example. And this is just an example of one of the eBooks that I located through a search. In this case, school nursing. Gives you some quick facts and then a table of contents that are linkable that you could then click on to access information quite efficiently and quickly. We have a live guide dedicated to careers. This is the URL, and this is an image of that live guide. Please access it to access all of our resources that we have. In this presentation, I was only able to discuss a few. We have many more available for you to use. In summary, I've discussed BrainFuse, LearningExpress, a couple of our databases and eBooks, all accessible from our homepage. Some of them you will have to create accounts with, particularly with BrainFuse and LearningExpress. The databases and eBooks, you will have to authenticate using your NMSU credentials. And as always, we are available for any further instruction and assistance. Oh, our email is listed there, library@dacc.nmsu.edu. Thank you for attending our presentation. It was a pleasure.